Welcome to Seven Pines, J&P mod, Brigadier General. So I've been investing in econ, and we have econ at 9, and after this battle we'll go to 10. This is a pretty easy battle, pretty straightforward. So our general has 2 perks. Lorenz's, 61s, 55s. I bought as little as possible. I'm bringing the James to this one because of the nature of the battle. It's very set piece. And I did buy 55s for one of my units. So that was some money, but I tried to keep spending down. But I had over 400,000. Now I have 369,000. So I'm showing you my officers have, most of them have a 3 after their name. That's bonus XP. And he has Mississippis and he has 55s. So actually I should maybe move the Mississippis to another unit. I want those 5,000 men, but no reason to take them right at this moment. And that was a big pile of troops that he got, which drove up his army manpower pool, but it doesn't look like they were very good. So this is Brigadier General. They weren't very good. But the armory went up a little bit. So 7 Pines. And we have 22,000 against 11,000. Yeah, it's going to be easy. And I get very fortunate splits on both the right and left flank with my allied units, and I intend to let them take a lot of the losses. I've done this at double speed because it's pretty straightforward and it's a side battle. I also set the timer to 1.4. It's 1.15 normally. I don't think I actually use any extra time, but I have it just in case. So I'm not entirely sure that bringing the James was better than bringing the 17-gun battery of Napoleons. I think the Napoleons probably, because what I want is morale degradation, not just kills. I want enemy morale affected. So here I put everybody on run. My guys, I kind of guessed where my guys would fall back to and where my units running would meet them, and I was pretty close to right. Set just everybody to run. Get my army together so I face the enemy as one big force of 22,000 plus splits. Oh, the guys on the right side, I put on the right side of the water so they didn't have to cross the water. If you put them on the other side, like the deployment box, if you put them on the other side of that river, they get where you need them to go faster because they don't have to cross water. So I have 2 units on the right, 2 in the center, 3 on the left, and that works. He did get splits. He got a lot of splits. I did not expect all those splits. So now I have 4, do I have 3 or 4 infantry? 3 infantry on the right side, which is a lot. And I have 3 on the left, or 4 on the left. That's a lot of units. And then plus my 8 units, 7 infantry and 1 artillery. I thought about bringing a melee cav here. That probably would have worked, but I plan on this being a real set-piece battle where the enemy has 2 good artillery batteries, and I intend to use my 3 batteries and just slowly advance across the map with the AI taking a lot of the losses. And then the goal is to get into camp and take that the 10th perk in econ, and then just go crazy buying weapons. Just start going crazy. And that'll be a real big upgrade to the army. So in hindsight, I probably, if I had brought the Napoleons, I wouldn't have had to have spent some money buying. I bought 3 Jameses. So, that wasn't a lot of money. And if I'd brought melee cav, I probably would have, I would not have had to have bought rifles, 55s for one of my infantry units. So I could have saved Could have saved some money. And then bought, bought all those weapons after I had the right number of perks. So here I do what I do, and I don't see this as terribly intense. I know it looks intense, the guy's charging in. When his units charge in like this is just something to beat up on. Like in this case, one unit charging in, I'm going to hit him with 3 or 4. I'm going to hit him with exploding shell or canister. This guy, I mean, he doesn't last very long. Every time he charges in, it's an opportunity to get a capture. Now, what I should do is let this guy go, because I think you do better at getting captures if you shoot them up a while first. So I should let this guy go. Do I let this guy go? I think the next guy I charge. So, and it really helps if you have a melee cav or a rifle cav to get on top of the enemy if you're going to try to get a capture, because that really keeps driving his morale to 0, and every time he hits 0, he does a check to see if he gets captured. So, yeah, he's got basically no choice. This is exactly where I wanted to form up, right on this line right here. It's before you drop into the ravine, before the land slopes off, and it's a very good defensive position where my entire army can get up and fight as one force, consolidated against the enemy, and just let the infantry fire and the artillery, the exploding shell and canister, degrade the enemy morale. And that's what we're going to do. Oh, look at that guy taking all those shots. Yeah, make sure your units are firing at the guy you want to hit. That's the hardest part. No, hit that guy. So I see an opportunity here to go after this guy. It's a little premature. Shouldn't have done it. Should have just shot him up and pushed him back. He was a little bit too fresh. But I have all this infantry here, and I think we can really pop him. And my commander's right there, so why not? 2-on-1, always get the 2-on-1 bonus. We're getting the canister from the James. I think there's a real chance to hurt him, but look, I see I'm too close to his unit. I don't want to really take that fire. So I decide to get out of there. So my one unit is, burned up a little morale and conditions, so I'll have him go back and just sit for a moment, recover, and then put him back on the line. Yeah, he'll recover. He just has a couple of points. It'll take him just a few minutes. So I have him park and then recover. And the commander's right there. His units seem very tiny to me. I'm looking at very small numbers. My units are, in my army, are 2,000 or more, counting detached skirmishers, and he's advancing there with someone. I probably shot him up earlier. That's probably someone who charged in and got shot up. And now he's down to 800, but, his units are just looking a little small. This is Brigadier General after all. First, the whole army needs to focus on the sniper and kill him, because that's what we do. We drop everything to kill snipers. Oh, and the other reason I brought the James is he has 2 artillery batteries. If he gets a split, it'd be 3, and then the artillery, I can do damage to them with the James, where the Napoleons, I couldn't really do anything to them. Okay, an allied unit has retreated. He got hit by the sniper, I guess, several times. That's a good trade. The sniper was shooting up the allied unit, not one of my units. Okay, here's another opportunity to shoot someone up. Yeah, he's coming in one at a time. That's really hopeless. So I'm having the guy fall back to draw him in. And then my unit will step forward and fire a volley, and that should just crush him. Yep, there he goes. My unit, in fact, he started a rout even before my unit got a shot off. And he's down under 800. So this is all going very badly for the AI, and he probably has less than 10,000 at this point. So yeah, the James can start, I can see his artillery, we can start taking one of them apart. I can start thinking about advancing. I want to collapse his right flank. Would like to get into the tree line on the right too, but he has a lot over there. That's going to be a little bit hard to do. So yeah, we advance a little bit, then advance the artillery, always staying under the guns. Because we're not advancing very fast, and I knew I wasn't going to, I didn't feel like I needed the horse artillery. But still, I think my 17 Napoleons would have convinced enemy units to rout or retreat faster than the James. The James is only 7 guns, I think. And yeah, getting the enemy units degrading their morale, and getting them to retreat is more important than kills. Yeah, especially when the enemy units are attacking. You want to collapse that morale, get him to start flashing white, and then hit him with melee 2-on-1, and hopefully get the capture. So anyway, this is pretty much this till the end of the battle. Just grind him down to nothing. Artillery and infantry working together, and it's completely overwhelming. The Allied units take a lot of the losses. I get into camp. Coming up next is probably the easiest battle, or one of the easiest battles, not just in this campaign, but in both campaigns. And yeah, what I want to do there is upgrade my army with maybe some better weapons, and then really harvest a bunch of kills. And then the third side battle is secure a river, which is a very tough battle. So we'll see how that one goes. But by that time, I should have a pretty good army with a lot of XP, a lot of good officers, much better equipment. So it's still going to be bloody, and I'm going to take a lot of losses, but hopefully, if I can manage not to trip the flag, I hope I can get them all. And I'll see you at the end of this battle. Well, I wanted to get a little bit of melee and a few captures. Yep, that worked. So 7, 8, 9,000 versus my 2. That's good. And I think a lot of the losses were allied units. We'll see. Man, his sniper was brutal. And this is on Brigadier General. So the James killed 500. I think my Napoleons could have done just as well. Yeah, it looks like my allied units took some significant losses. I don't know. Okay, I do have my corps commanders set to 4.5 in the XP file, which is high. And I think corps commanders I might have set a little bit high. 4.5 is a little high. Okay, we got Lorenz's. Yeah, in a previous campaign I played it on 4 and it was pretty balanced. 4.5 seems too much. The division commanders at 4.5 seems perfectly balanced. Not too much at all. Corps commanders, definitely too much. Okay, they're looking good. We have colonels and generals as unit commanders. We have generals. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. These are 3 good perks. I want all of them. 3 outstanding perks. I don't know. I'm going to have a think about that. I want the XP, but that means that general something in the final battle, you're going to want one of the other 2 perks, not XP. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have 1 3-star general perked for XP for all the side battles. I don't know. And then perked for either cover or, yeah, the reduced damage to morale. All of those are good. But the XP would be good for side battles until the final battle. So I don't know. Okay, Rendezvous is going to be next. Secure River last. Because it's the toughest one. By far. By far the toughest one. So this should be very easy. So I have 8 units and we have 14,000. Yeah, we win. He has no artillery. So obviously we want to bring artillery. Yeah, the army's looking good. The army's looking very good indeed. And we're going to buy a bunch of weapons, about $460,000 worth, if there's that much to buy. So I'll see you next time.